is there any piece of advice that you could offer someone like a film and TV actor? What would you, if there was one piece of advice that they could walk away watching this, what would you want that to be?
But just to add on to that before you answer, what you would say to a film and TV actor also when going into theater and vice versa, because I know you do both.
Oh yeah.
And they're connected, but they feel like different mediums.
Yeah.
So what would be the advice that you give there?
That's interesting. There was one really fortunate time where I was doing a play, and the play was happening in two parts of the country. It was like a co-pro with two different theaters. So I was doing it in Montreal, then I was doing it in Winnipeg. And there was a few weeks off when we transferred over. And in those few weeks off, I was doing an episode of Suits, which is a show I had done before, a character I had done before. And it was the first time, back to back to back, I got to do theater, then film, then theater.
Oh, wow.
And
that's a unique experience.
It's a very unique experience.
Yeah.
One thing it did for me personally was there's things I get from theater that I can't get from film and vice versa. And sometimes when I'm doing film, I'm longing to scratch the itch that theater does, and I pollute the work with that longing of something it can't offer me.
Like an internal David Reale thing, not character thing.
Yes, like I want to feel this way, and I don't get that from film. And so there's
you never get that from film?
Yeah, there's no audience there for one. So if I want the thrill of an opening night audience receiving something I've rehearsed for 4 weeks,
you can't get that on a set.
I'm not going to get that.
Yeah.
And so if I'm on set feeling like I want that, it's going to always feel like I'm leaving having failed or having had a bad experience.
Yeah.
But it's just setting my expectation different. And I didn't realize I had been doing that until I got to do both, because when I did the film, I was satisfied. I had my theater urges satisfied. So none of that was there. So I just got to appreciate the difference of doing the film stuff.
Yeah.
So that's sort of general. What I think I kind of noticed was theater, this is not a rule, this is not really advice, but theater feels like a place for me to be heard. Like if it's about expression, it's like I go to theater and I get heard.
Yeah.
And then on film, it's like a place to be seen. Like you're going to be seen. And that feels like a general difference. I don't know if I would adjust my acting for that, but I do adjust my expectation of what is going to be happening.
But surely the adjustment of that expectation, allowing that to flow through you, to get a little ethereal for a second, will change your expression of it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, again, it's like realizing what kind of party you're at. You know?
I love that.
Is it a house party or is it a cocktail party? Like, what's the vibe,
Yeah.
We drinking champagne or tequila?
And I don't think, the general stuff, you have to bring it down for film.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like thinking of it that way.
Please, I have so many stark opinions on this. Please go off. Please go off.
I think, so they say less is more.
They do say that.
Yeah. And I can't stand that.
Thank you.
Because I don't want to do less.
Yeah.
I want to do a lot.
Like who's going to say that Jack Nicholson is too big, or Jim Carrey is too big?
Yes, or they're not doing tons.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like less of something and more of something else. So it's not less is more, it's less and more. Turn down this and turn up that.
Yeah.
So you get to do more of something.
Yeah.
Right.
Just maybe not what they're saying less of.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a casting director, I believe you pronounce his name Jim Haber.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
Isn't there a Margie Haber?
Potentially.
Maybe she's a
I'm not
teacher.
as well connected as you are, so maybe you know people
I'm
that I know.
getting that name. I'll have to look it up. Okay.
Anyways, I saw Jim answer a question directly talking about this notion of the less is more thing, where you have to be small for camera. And he put it in a way that I also think I was in a place in my own craft where this came at me that I needed it. So it really hit home, where you can be big on camera, still being aware of the frame for sure. However, if you're going to be big on the outside and the expression of it, on camera, it has to at least come from that big of a place on the inside.
Totally.
If you're being big on the outside as an overcompensation from what you are either not feeling on the inside or from what you are afraid you're not going to feel on the inside, we as an audience who are zoomed in, seeing you in 4K, will be able to tell that it's sugary frosting on top of a cake that hasn't been baked yet.
Yeah.
But if it's coming from that place, we will feel that it has to be that expression. Anything less than that will feel disingenuous. It doesn't mean it has to be a big expression in terms of a yell, but that it's bubbling that much. I think a great example is if you look at Julia Garner in Ozark, there's this one scene where she bursts into Marty's house with a gun and it's like, you know, he killed Wyatt, where is he, who killed him? And she's just yelling at the top of her lungs, and that's on camera, and it's not a close-up, but you look, and there's no doubt that the only way that felt like it had to come out that way was in this ginormous expression of it, and no one says it's too much. No one looks at that and says it's forcing it.
And I think that's true on stage as well. It's
Yes.
just you can get away with it
Yeah.
sometimes on stage. There's shit you can get away with on stage, and there's shit you can get away with on film.
Yeah.
Like you can get away on film. Like
can cheat it.
if you don't have a voice that even can
Yeah.
possibly
Right.
project more than this, no one will ever know. You can do this kind of acting. And you could do like good work and no one will ever know that you can't actually
Project
fill
that.
a house.
Yeah.
Because you can get away with it. No, but on film, does it serve you to have a really supple, flexible voice with a lot of range? Yes, it does. So you need those skills. Those skills are absolutely transferable. It's just there's different shit you can get away with. That's why I think with acting training, the skills are the same.
Yeah.
Actually.
For TV and film, you mean.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And that kind of leads into something that you've talked about, not just with your recent interview with Douglas, but in other stuff, this idea of revelatory work versus showing. And I would love to get your articulate, nuanced unpacking of that, because I think we all understand these concepts of, don't show it. But how can you tell the difference when someone is revealing something versus showing or presenting? Because we all go through the insecurity of, I want people to see this part of the character or myself, and I don't know if they're going to see this part of the character or myself. So the insecurity becomes let me present it and show it to you. Where does it cross the line from that versus revelatory work, as you've phrased it in the past?
Well, to me, it's like what you were just talking about, actually, in terms of film and theater. The problem for a theater actor on film is that on film you feel like you're giving the performance. And when you're giving the performance as a theater actor, you've had 3.5, 4 weeks of rehearsal.
Yeah.
So you'll rush yourself to the product. It's like, oh shit, it's opening night. I have to give
Get
my
there.
performance.
Yeah.
So that you have done all of this work to craft something by opening night. And all of that work is there, like in the cake that you've baked, it's all there. And so when you say your line that you've prepared, it has, and you can have certain rhythms, you can have certain timing that you've worked out.
Yeah.
And it'll all either land or it doesn't, but it's full. If you try and do that in film, you are lying. Because you're pretending that you've done all of this work, weeks of rehearsal. You have not done that. So you just got to think of, like, when you're on film, just imagine it's the first day of rehearsal and they're rolling camera on you.
Yeah.
And you're about to say your line for the first time. What you have to do this revelatory work, if I say it that way, is include the truth of that moment, which is, I've never said this before.
It feels weird to say.
I don't know how to say it.
Right, the right way to do it.
I don't know the right way to do it. And so...
Which the character probably doesn't know what the right thing to do is anyways.
And maybe these theater actors do that in rehearsal, but the audience isn't there.
Yeah.
So they don't have that extra defensive shell making them lie, or making me. I'm the one.
Yeah.
I tend to lie by going like, whatever I do to make it seem like I know what the hell I'm doing when I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's, to me, the to be able to include the I don't know, include the effervescence and nerves that come around I don't know, that's the revelatory thing. That's showing what you don't want to show. The things if you're embarrassed in life, you want to hide and shrink away. An actor, to be revelatory, needs to be able to expose the thing that you would hide.
Right. Because that's what's interesting, right? Because you don't see that in day-to-day life.
Yeah,
so,
because people hide it.
Of course.
Because why
yeah.
wouldn't you? Like, shit, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel ashamed of my lack of knowing.
Yeah.
Why is everyone looking at me? I don't know. And so to include that, I think, is the building blocks of something revelatory, because it includes something true that you don't have control over, that is just, pumping through your body at that time.